3 years ago, 9th grade, I have a scheduled appointment with a career advisor who was about to tell me which job I would best suit once I leave school. We did some sort of personality test that would determine the result. I walk in and the first thing she tells me is that you should be a kindergarten teacher. And as soon as she said that, my face just blew up red. Because bro, I didn't want to be a kindergarten teacher. And she knew that I wasn't expecting that just by my face. My face was really, really red. I was doing that awkward smile I do when I get really nervous. She asked me, were you expecting something else? What were you expecting? And I told her, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a business owner. And she kind of like smiles at me. And around 2 or 3 seconds later, she says, isn't that a bit too unrealistic? Can't exactly remember how the rest goes, but I remember walking out of that room feeling extremely lonely, extremely unmotivated because of what this person has told me. The whole school system was against me because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. At that point in my life, I was doing like a drop shipping business, which I was earning zero money from. I think I'd made like one sale worth $30. All my friends were making nearly $1,000 a month from their jobs, and I was behind. I was extremely behind because I was doing this business thing every single day after school, while my friends were probably only working 10 hours a week and they were way ahead of me. They were still having fun. So I considered giving up. I was about to give up on everything, go get a job at the local fucking Kmart around my house and be someone that this career advisor wanted me to be someone that my teachers wanted me to be, which I totally understand of because that's just them doing their job. And at that time in my life, I had a massive ego. I didn't want to get a job because I felt like I was a fucking pussy if I did, right? I needed to get this business thing sorted. I was kind of manipulated by Andrew Tate into believing it. And throughout this process of really, following Tate's words, I became a little bit toxic. I put myself before other people in a toxic way. I didn't hang out with my friends. I wasn't having any fun. I was just working 24/7 towards this drop shipping thing at the time. And I'd also started content creation at this time as well. So I was putting some of my energy into that. So around 3 or 4 months after this career thing, I ended up getting a job actually to, learn. I was there for maybe a year until I started making money from this content stuff. And that's when I ended up quitting and I just focused 100% of my energy onto this. And 3 years later, this has put me in a position where I barely get to have any fun at all. Even though fun to me is a lot different than the average person's fun. But throughout school with studying and YouTube, I have barely any time to enjoy myself. I do a bit on the weekends, but that's really it. And look, I tend to feel very, very behind because of that. When I was in year 9, if I told myself I was in this position I am today, I would think there is no problem with life at all. But as I've grown to value different things. I value the people in my life more. I don't value money as much. I don't value, materialistic possessions as much. And that makes me feel behind. In year 9, I would have dreamed of being a full-time YouTuber. I would have dreamed of it, but right now I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know if I want to go to uni. I don't know if I want to do something called TAFE, which is, I don't know what you call it over in the US, but Australians will know what it is. And this, I understand, is put on so many people. Again, as I said about the title, after 2004, to know what you want to do at such a young age that sets up your whole entire life. It's kind of fucked, to be honest. And this is the thing that makes me feel behind. I'm very, very different from the people at my school. I don't really relate to anyone there. They're all off to university next year. I'm like one of the only ones not going to university. And look, when you're not doing the same as the people around you, it makes you feel very, very different. It makes you feel very, very lonely. But I like to remind myself that nobody has it figured out. People our age, people 30, 40, 50 years old, no one has it figured out. And if they believe they do, they don't. They have what they think is best for them figured out right now, but in 5 years' time, how do they know what's going to be best for them? So that's something I love to remind myself of when I get caught up in, feeling behind, comparing myself to other people, who tend to have it all figured out. I've come to realize it doesn't exist. Even the kids that walk out of school knowing exactly what they want to do, I would say at least 25 to 30% of them will end up changing their career path within the next 30 years. Like, that's probably true, isn't it? Like, if you really think about it, it's probably true. As I said, people know what they want now, but they don't know what they want in 3 years' time. So for the people who could kind of relate to me on that, you just have no idea what you want to fucking do after school or after college or whatever. even just in your life in general, I want you to not only focus on the things that advance your career, I want you to also focus on the things that advance your character, right? Because if you have the foundation built, which is your character, your discipline, your mindset, your mental health, all this type of stuff, you as a person, if this is in order, you can go into any avenue of life and be successful. And it's just common sense. Like if you think about it, it's just common sense. When I was year 7, year 8 and year 9, I was playing basketball heavy. I wanted to make the NBA, right? And through those 3 years of training every single day, I took it really, really serious. It was my whole life. I didn't even really hang out with my friends then. Throughout school, I've always been the hard worker, but that has taught me something. The reason I have been successful on YouTube is because of what basketball taught me, the character that was built within me. And I'm sure that is exactly the same for any other area of life. It's not just the career you want to advance in, it's also the character that you want to build. So look, this is not career advice or nothing. This is simply my thoughts to myself, and this is the advice I'd give myself. Doesn't mean it's gonna be best for you. However, the advice I would give myself, if I had no idea what I wanted to do, is to go into an industry or go into something, right, that you find enjoyable, of course. It might build you necessary skills for the future, but also something that builds your character as well. YouTube is very good, very, very good at building my character, so I'm gonna continue to do it. I believe YouTube is a very, very important skill. Speaking, the ability to stay consistent with the editing process, the ability to bounce back after poor performing videos, the ability to stay humble when you do, gain a bit of success. There's a lot that goes into it. One more thing I wanna touch on before I end this video. All these events from year 7 to year 12 where I am right now, being that hard worker, right, putting myself first for good purposes, made me a perfectionist in everything I do. These videos, right? I might end up recording this video 3 or 4 times. This is my first take right now, but I might end up recording it 3 or 4 times because I want it to be perfect. That's just a little small thing and I'm rarely satisfied. And if I'm in that mindset all the time, I can't enjoy my youth to my fullest. You can't enjoy your youth to your fullest if you're trying to be a perfect person, especially as a man. Women, it's probably the same thing, but I can't speak for them because I'm not one. For men, I know how it feels, bro. Always putting pressure on yourself, looking at other people doing better than you, making more money than you, get more women than you. Especially after that event with the advisor, as I said at the start of this video, that really changed me. The hate really, really got to me. I became, again, as I said, a little bit toxic. I pushed myself very, very hard, which I look back at it today and I'm proud of myself for doing that. But I reminded myself the other day, you could always have done worse. Everyone talks about being better, especially as a young man. Go out there, be better, be the best version of you. And I 100% agree with that, 100%, but sometimes it goes too far. And you could have always done worse. And if you don't believe me, you're watching this video instead of some, shitty ass entertainment video that won't get you anywhere, all right? You're doing better than you think you are, especially as a young person. It's only gonna get worse with the rise of social media, with the rise of AI. Gary Vee says something like 90% of influencers in 10 or 20 years will be like artificial intelligence. They won't even be real. Imagine the comparison that will happen then when people actually believe these people to be real. My best advice for anyone who is still in school or by the title after 2004 and you're just stuck and you have no idea what to do, because this is who this is targeted towards. I want you to try your best to maintain a balance in your youth. Work hard, but also play hard as well. Not too hard that it fucks up your whole entire life, but hard enough that you make memories that stick with you. Unless you're in a period of your life that makes that impossible. You have to work hard because there's a very, very strong reason behind working hard. I want you to listen to everybody's opinions, mine, other self-improvement dudes, your parents, your cousins, your fucking uncles, your aunties, everybody's opinions. I want you to listen to them, but I don't want you to take them on straight away. I want you to process the information in your mind first. Ask yourself, is this best for me? And then take action on it. Because there's so much noise nowadays, but you have to ask yourself what you actually want. Hope this helps. You're not behind, you are simply on your own timeline. All right, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.